Karont3 on their last player of the evening. Very far top right corner, GSL Whirlwind will be the map. A pretty hard map for Terran versus Zerg, actually.
Yeah.
In my professional opinion. It's going to be your boy, Lucifron. We'll see what he has planned out for this guy in the bottom right corner from Team MVP. Pulling out the stops, man. After Monster, after Tails, going straight to DRG himself.
Yep.
He used to be the ace back in the day, I believe, in the GSTL. I believe Sniper has taken over the ace for them. But nonetheless, still, DRG, fantastic player.
Yeah, Sniper is really, really good. Not too much of a surprise to wait on him a little bit, you know. He's not going to be nervous to come out in a clutch situation, giving DRG a chance to shine with those recently polished boot skills of his. See what he can get done.
So
as you were talking about.
Is actually pretty strong on this map as well.
Yep.
It's just because it's huge and the mobility is really, really necessary. But the third on this map, if we actually want to take a gander at it really quick, if we can get an idea, it's got a couple of entrances to it. So it's a little bit harder to hold off against some link attacks and whatnot. It's just, overall, it's just such, yeah, you can see the ramps here, side. There's a lot of attack paths of K, and when DRG is playing, of course, he always uses mutas to go into a different location and his links follow up, and then somehow they group to attack into your army if you ever do get into a fight. So watch for DRG to put on some multitasking skills here. There are a couple of builds, like there's a 2-base 9-roach build that you have 9 roaches across the middle of the map. I've seen DRG do that a couple times in big maps to throw off his opponent. But I don't think he'll be going for that rather here, but nonetheless, keep that in mind.
Yeah, we've seen a ton of that. I mean, Symbol kind of pioneered using a couple of roaches, you know? Used to use like 2 or 3 of them in order to defend against Hellions in the early game. And then we saw more and more players start picking up these early roach aggression builds with, I mean, Hyun had fantastic success with it recently. Really been utilizing that. And as you said, DRG also adopting this play. More and more players are finding, you know, a variety of options that are working in the ZVT matchup, which makes things really, really interesting. Of course, they all have very different directions, so it's not too hard to scout them, and Lucifron has done a good job of getting information thus far. We'll see what he manages to get his eyeballs on right now, as he's going to be actually swinging into DRG's base right in the beginning here with this SCV.
Looks like he'll be getting the Lucky Scout here, and on the bottom right, just immediately finding his opponent. Always nice to do. Has followed up into a command center and a Rax right away, so pretty darn standard. Followed up into a gas as well. Banshee play pretty strong on this map as well. He just wants something to get across the middle of the map and do some kind of damage. Hellions and Banshees seem to be the go-to. I say that, and I feel like they're kind of the matchup. They're like that in all matchups, Hellion and Banshee. But
yeah,
from here, we're going to see what exactly DRG is planning to do. A third, a little bit harder to take on this map. You have to, you want to go to the bottom left after you find your opponent. He doesn't want to expand towards his opponent, and it feels a little bit off to expand there. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. As a Zerg player, you're just kind of like, I need to keep more eyes on my third here, and that kind of leaves opportunities for your natural to be attacked into. So that's, of course, something to know as well.
All right, well, 2 queens are now spawning for DRG. He's going to be moving up to 4 here in just a moment. Overlord will be able to easily escape from these 2 Marines, and the Zerglings should be chased away as well, DRG. Look at that, not even taking a single hit. Those Zerglings unscathed.
Yeah, quick response there from DRG, and that's multitasking just being put on to...
Yep.
Put on point there. He doesn't even lose HP on his lings, man. And most people usually get that one pretty darn low. So falling into the double queens, get that crease going. Pretty standard. We saw this actually earlier on.
Damn.
With Monster.
And these are early gases.
Yeah, double gas.
530 at 36 supply. I mean, he just now upped it to 44. You know what? He did spit out 10 drones immediately behind this. It's entirely possible, but those were pretty quick. I mean, we were talking a little bit about roaches, and I don't know, got a little inkling right now. One of my favorite builds, actually, of Dongryu's is a Roach Bane all in, hits around 9.5 minutes, Lair Tech in a third behind it, but in fact, DRG is going to be taking a really fast third with this build. So I don't think that's what we're going to see. In fact, he's just playing a little bit quicker with the tech here. We'll see if that Lair starts momentarily. He's already at 30 gas. Actually, hasn't even started speed yet. Of course, did open gasless.
Well, with the double gas, he has the option to follow up into speed, double evolution chamber. I mean, we saw that build a little bit earlier on, I believe, for Monster himself. So that could be a potential. I mean, MVP, of course, they could be playing with each other. They could have similar builds. There's always that on the table. So looks like speed has now been queued up. Gas is constantly still going up at the moment here for our Zerg player, but it will be a little bit before he throws his evolution chamber down. I believe you mentioned that at 150 you want to throw that down so you'll have enough gas for both your evolution chambers when they pop up to go ahead and start both upgrades right away.
That's actually exactly.
Lucifron, and now moving into, of course, the Banshee. falling up into Cloak as well. So again, this is the route he's going for, Hellion Banshee. Now, of course, this is just known in ZVT that this is going to be coming. It all comes down to the damage control and how well you deal with the Hellions, but he does get that snipe.
That was cute. And there's the double Evo chamber as you were talking about, Tim. So we are going to see some intense upgrades here out of DRG. Of course, he did ramp it up to 3 and 4. So, yep, there's the lair tech starting, everything lining up quite nicely. And Dongre-gu, when he finishes actually his lair, is still going to be sitting on a hefty amount of gas because, you know, he's only about to drop 250 right now to start his 1-1 upgrades. There they go. But behind this, he's going to have another 60 seconds. He's going to bring another 400 gas. He's going to finish that lair with about 550. He's going to have a huge amount, so we may actually see him go for a Spire here with, you know, all that gas he's accruing. Otherwise, he'll be rushing for some very quick infestors. We'll have to wait and see. It is going to be Cloak Banshee and Mech that he's facing off against.
Double armories. Hellion's trying to poke in here. As soon as we get a chance, we'll go check into the main and get an idea of what the Lucifer's going for in total. But now they want to go and pop in here and do as much damage as they can to these queens. One does have a transfuse available. He was actually trying to snipe the Lings. Lings were actually all behind the squeeze. Like, oh, this is an opportunity to actually kill off a lot of Lings.
And we got a few.
Yeah, you get a few. It's nice to have. And it looks like the Lings are actually going to go for a counterattack.
I see him.
This is what DRG does, man. He's like, okay, you're going to have Hellions in my main. I'll just go ahead and go for a counterattack. You just go and box off with Queens. And now the Lings just running to the natural has pulled back all this pressure that all of a sudden DRG doesn't have anymore because Lucifer's trying to chase around these Lings. And the Lings actually just went up and juked him back down and came as Zonaga. This was just a little bit of a move here to get creeps constantly moving up. Nice play here from DRG.
Yeah, and he's completely... I was looking for the Overseer in there. In fact, it is. I mean, immaculate defense back at home. These double-cloaked Banshees killed 1 unit each.
1 unit each. Like the way that was played, man. Good job. Hellions now moving across the middle of the map. Once again. There is a bit of a drone transfer happening here. Spinecar is moving its way on down. Is DRG going to respond accordingly here? The Hellions do pop in, and they do look like they get a nice amount of kills, though. There is spread finally happening, but he actually traps a couple of these Hellions. He might actually be the other one. Yes, he does. So suddenly, those drone kills I was actually really okay with don't really matter that much, but now the Banshee's going to follow up. But the thing is, those Lings did perfectly there. Yeah,
11 drones for 6 Hellions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a painful trade. And I think it might actually be a little bit ahead here for Lucifer, but he really wanted to keep those Hellions there.
Yeah, it's just not nearly as good as you want it to be. But he did a great job splitting DRG up. You know, all the Queens were in the main base in order to deal with those Banshees, so he's able to safely get in there with the Hellions. But Speedlings on Creep, man, pretty good versus Hellions. Here come the Mutalisks we were talking about earlier, and look at this gas bank right now for Dongre-gu. He is just waiting to get enough minerals in order to actually be able to make all these Mutalisks. See if he decides to recreate more drones, as he's saturated on minerals right now, but in all reality, yeah, he's just going to replace the ones that died, not anymore.
Yeah, he's waiting for the Overlords to pop out so he can finally go ahead and pop out a lot of mutas, and finally they did, so now he has a chance to go ahead and go for the muta route here. Looks like he might be starving on Larva.
Super interesting.
Yeah, he was just waiting a tad bit, but he's staying away from it.
I mean, it's a tough call at this position. You lost all your drones, so what do you want to do? Do you want to remake your economy, or do you want to spit out the Mutalisk because you have the money to do it? Ling's being cleaned up in droves over here. These Hellions actually, yeah, they're all at perfect health. Didn't take a single hit.
All right, so Lucifer has gotten to where he wants to be. He has his third base established. He has his upgrades on the way for his mech. He's already moved into Thor production as well.
Yep. At
this point, he needs to defend these small amount of mutas coming in, and I actually feel like with his missile turret going up, she might be okay. Just actually, DRG gets here just in time to try and complete it off, but some SCVs will be killed off, unfortunately, here for Lucifer. Doing his best here to try and go ahead and micro around. Finally, missile turrets do finish up, and these 3 mutas are being forced to pull back. Now, unfortunately, with those drones being cut off at the third by the few Hellions, that slowed down DRG just enough to where if he had hit that timing a good 10-15 seconds earlier, that entire third be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So that little bit of a trade-off for the Hellions into the drones actually worked out pretty nicely for Lucifer.
It really did. Cloak Banshee going to swing around the back right now. There's an Overseer in position, though. We'll see if he decides to turn around, and he does.
Nice play there. A lot of time you lose your Overseers, and you don't put them in the right position, but DRG staying on top of that. Mutas now grouping up in the middle of the map. Hive Tech is already on the way, and man, it is hard to go Hive Tech straight after getting a lair into Mutas.
So smart versus Mech, though.
It works, though, yeah, against Mech. It's the only reason why this would work. Any type of bio play would just push across the middle of the map and kill him if he were to scan that Hive right now.
And it's not a siege tank based bio. You know, he knows that Lucifer is rushed for Thor. And so with that, you know, you don't, going Karn build style, like Thor, Blue Flame, Hellion, you don't push out early. You wait till you get a lot of Thor in order to do that.
Well, Mutas do pop in. There is, of course, a nice master K here from the turrets. And this is annoying. Like, how many times have, in an engagement, I've tried to dive the missile turret with so many Mutas and gonna have enough, and the repair is really, really easy to pull off on missile turrets you haven't placed there. Lucifron not missing a beat, immediately repairs, and we lose, what, 3, 4 almost Mutas there from DRG? It's
yeah, he lost 4.
It's just, it's essentially a small amount of minerals for so many Mutas being killed off. It really is painful. Looks like Banshee here is going to go ahead and harass this evolution chamber, but it should be dealt with as Infestors have popped out. And now we have Infestor lane competition with a few Mutas created here. The Mutas, he should keep alive to deal with any Banshees, but he's content with just taking up and getting that 3-3. And here we go, a huge push coming from Lucifron.
Yep, Roach is on the way, Galil reconstitution. Does he have Zerglings? Yes, he does. And Banelings is such a great answer for this. If you can land a fungal growth and trap all of the Hellions and Thor all together in a clump, your Banelings, of course, are able to deal with the SCVs. You can deal tons of damage to just all the clumped mech with Banelings.
All right, so looking an eye out here for the Infestors to land a fungal on the Hellions. Of course, Banelings do not take extra damage from Hellions, by the way. They're a light unit, just pure biological. Grouping up a lot of units. Oh gosh, the Hellions actually just move straight down to this third. Do only get a few hits there. It's kind of hard to just run straight in there when a roach is popping out, because there might be more roaches popping out of that base, so I see why Lucifron pulls away. But this army is actually pretty strong. 2-2, the path to finish up as well for Lucifron. Oh, get the fungal on the SCVs. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, he does. The Thor getting completely surrounded up here by Zerglings. Those two are going to fall immediately. Infested Terrans dropping as well. Roach is going to be target firing the Thor at the top. It's taking a very long time to fall, but this is definitely going to be held off at this point by Dongregoo. There are no SCVs to do any repairs. And what a devastating defeat Lucifron has suffered on this side of the map.
Wow, what is that? A total of 6 Thors? Just killed off right away. The Hellions tried to run down to this 4th base and trying to kill off a few more drones, but that will not be happening. Resources lost a little bit out of favor here for DRG, but crushing that army is what hurts. Building this army is such a pain in the rear. It takes forever to even try to reinforce mech. And so essentially, Lucifron loses time with that attack. DRG just crushes everything, and now he follows up with a nice reinforcement. Nice amount of units on the way, but he's already moving straight into Greater Spire. See how DRG has crushed these 2 attacks and he's just meching up like crazy behind it, and it's such great display of his multitasking and staying on top of the game.
I mean, we know Dongregoo is going to try to end this game right now. He's making tons of units, and this is a situation where you just killed so much of your opponents. Oh my god, the Infestors, are they here? No, they're not. It's just going to be Roaches and Lings that deal this damage, but what damage it is, in fact, to Dongregoo. He's going to be able to fall back after this if he so desires. He can also throw these units away so that he can upgrade those Corruptors he just made into Infestors.
14 Lings are being queued up as well. He wants to be able to stop these Hellions if they do follow up, but yeah.
Broodlords.
The Corruptors into Broodlords should be happening very soon here. Greater Spider is about to finish up in a second, and 10 more of them.
Do that
and
for
they'll
10
be done.
seconds.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, I don't have enough air. I didn't take a big enough breath, but I would have done it. Still keeping up the... Still keep up with the creep spread. You notice there was 9 creep tumors at that time actually dropping down in front of the middle of the map here. So DRG just again trying to stay top of everything. He's actually just going to run past these Hellions here. Gonna go ahead and focus down a couple as he runs off, but this 4th base in the top left corner is in trouble.
I love that he just leaves 2 Roaches, a couple of Banelings there while he goes for a counterattack. Gonna be cleaning up a couple of Mules there and falling back as the mech is actually pulled a little out of position. Looks like he doesn't have anything quite preloaded for it, but as we were saying, those Roaches, man, holding off those Hellions so easily.
So interesting, Lucifron went for mech on this map. It's so hard to pull off. It's a big map. A great way to beat mech is to throw units at them and to slowly whittle them down. But you amplify that attack because it's across the middle of the map. They have to walk so darn far. You have about 2 to 3 reforces that you can do as a Zerg player against a mech play. I don't know. I feel like Lucifron going for mech is a little bit of a hander on him. I know it's his play style, but maybe trying to be a little bit different on this map. But nonetheless, he's doing his best, and at this point, he's having to play very defensively. He's going to run into a planetary fortress that... Oh, DRG is actually splitting up his lanes here. Planetary fortress is focusing down the ones on the Hellions, so his lanes got some nice kills on those SUVs. Oh my gosh, he sneaks into the main.
So cute, and this really isn't designed to do as much damage as anything else. Sure, you know, if some siege tanks or something spawn, it can clean them up. It's mostly just to pull units back home, but Lucifron's not going to do that, so those Lings could actually get a fair amount of damage in as they sit here longer and longer and longer and killing off more and more SCVs that are mining gas. Lucifron, man, taking some damage. Hellions getting cleaned up for 3 Zerglings, like such cost-efficient trades there.
Yeah, Lucifron's really annoyed right now. Oh my gosh, the siege tank is in trouble. See how he blocks the siege tank in there? Just such a little small, minute play. And it looks like from here, DRG's going to push straight in the natural, kill off some more SCVs. He's got constant production on the way, and his Broodlord that should be finished up actually at home. He's just waiting for when he wants to push in.
This is just a buy time.
Yeah, he's just clearing supply, buying some more time here, getting those upgrades out for the Corruptors in case there is a Viking transition. Is there even a Viking transition? Okay, there is. There's 9 on the field here. So Lucifron is starting to prepare for that late game army, but is he going to be strong? Oh my gosh. that was pretty
That
hilarious.
planetary just put those things in its scope.
Sit down is what Lucifron just said with that planetary fortress. There is a Banshee in the very far top left corner. It will kill off any drones that do come around by that 5th base. That is, it's a little bit up to the right. But nonetheless, the aggression is about to come. I mean, DRG's at a point where he feels very, very strong. I'm just waiting for him to start maneuvering his way there. And he might just actually just keep expanding around the map and just wait for Lucifron to come to him, because he can just kind of kill him at any moment, I feel like.
Well, he also wants queens. The funny thing about Broodlords versus Thor, they actually lose pretty much every time, unless you have queens. And then your Broodlords can actually fight forever. If you have 10, 12 queens accompanying your Broodlords with full energy, they just can't die to Thor. Now they can die to Vikings though, so we got a lot of Corruptors by Dong Regu continuing to be made, as well as Infestors. And this is the composition you want to fight against mech. You want Broodlord, Queen, Infestor, Corruptor. It's really, I mean, it can die. You get a couple Ravens out, you land some sick Seeker missiles on the Corruptors, and that can turn the tides very quickly. But without Hunter Seeker missiles, I don't know how Lucifron's actually going to be able to fight this. The Thors are getting... there's the splash damage we're waiting for on those Corruptors. A lot of damage dealt to them by Lucifron, but he's losing the Vikings. And if he loses these Vikings, that's it.
Well, it looks like the ground army is actually being cleaned up very, very quickly here. And we need a reinforcement with the Corruptors. Okay, 4 more on the way, and it looks like DRG just has too much. Even with that splash damage, the Corruptors that come in, they initially just group up really, really quickly. It just wasn't enough. He has so much stuff. And he also has the upgrades. I believe he has +1 carapace. Yeah, he did. The 4 +1/1 ship weapons actually finished up before Lucifron. It was just a few seconds to that happened. At the same time, there was an aggressive attack on that 4th base as well, killed off a few more SCVs. And from here, DRG just reinforces. He's got 26 lings on the way, and Lucifron's not even going to deal with it. He lost his whole entire army that takes forever to build. And it looks like from there, MVP is just going to take the series.
DRG doing what he does best, multitasking Lucifron into, well, it's kind. I mean, it's like I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over. You're just like discombobulating, I guess, man. Lucifron at the end there is like just losing units for nothing. It was really, really rough, but overall, a clean game out of our MVP players. Tails doing an exceptionally good job in this match.
Yeah, Tails, of course, going up 2-0 to initially start it out, and then just from there, some solid play from Monster as well into DRG. Just both players, again, taking 2-3 games in one, I believe. Or no, 2-2 in one to finish up the series. And unfortunately, Karont3 couldn't pull it off what they pulled off against Team Liquid, and will fall down 1-1 in the Premier Division. MVP going up 1-0, because this was their first match that has been televised or casted by us here at IPL. But nonetheless, congratulations to them. And Karont3, man, they're doing well. But we need to see them be a little bit more well-equipped in the future if they want to stay in it.
Especially as, you know, they continue to expand that roster. Of course, just picking up some...
I'm glad they got a Protoss. That's going to help out a lot, like Ohana, unfortunately. It's just a good map to throw a Protoss on there for the most part. I believe it's like a 67% win ratio or anything when it comes to Protoss versus Zerg on that map. So hopefully with the Protoss being added to the lineup, like you mentioned, they're going to be feeling pretty strong. Yeah.
67%. Tim, if you don't know, guys, is our map guy.
No, I'm just throwing out a number.
But
don't take it completely the other way. I might be completely wrong, but when Century Immortal all-in actually happens on the map, it's pretty high percentage.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows it's extremely effective build on Ohana. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in today, guys. Of course, feedback on the music for me. I'm at Kibbles, Kibbelz. You can tag into Tim over here, Robin, at IPL Robin, and let him know if you enjoy any particular maps. I know you're kind of now an indie member of the map community.
They're all they all have so many opinions, and they want to get the map pools better. And so I think I found a nice medium. I found a lot of maps. I have about 11 of them that we're going to decipher actually after this cast, and we're going to go through them, and hopefully I can get them into the map pool for IPL 6 and the qualifiers. And then from there, we'll hopefully have a better map pool overall in general, just like in terms of full gameplay all the way through. So really hoping that comes out. And again, like you said, StarCraft2Melee.net, if you want to really help me out, go cast or go vote, I guess, for the maps that you enjoy. But with that being said, do you have anything else for you guys?
You know, IGN.com/IPL giveaways, guys. Jump on over to there, score yourself a free Origin PC. If you tuned in late to the broadcast, you're going to want to watch, Game 1, Game 2 anyways, and see Tails having, well, you'll want to see Game 1, Game 2 anyways. So, while you wait for the rebroadcast to kick up, jump on over there, score yourself a free PC potentially, and other than that, Thank you very much for tuning in. We had a blast casting for you guys, and hope you enjoyed the match.
Thanks, guys.
You kept rolling snake eyes. One too many.